Cutting you.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Davira, sir. Davira, sir, can you hear us?
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, now you are audible.
So can we begin the session, sir?
Sir. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Good evening, one and all. To the 253rd session of Mental Health Webinar Series 2020. Behalf of Smar, our head, and the American College, Madras School of Social Work, Chennai, International Center for Clinical Psychology and Psychotherapy, Germany, and MS Chalamuthu Institute of Mental Health and Rehabilitation Center, Madurai, and Red Bond Education and Psychological Research Center, Madurai, and also Psycho-Oncological Association, Turkey, and other core team member. Behalf of everyone, I welcome all the sincere participants as well today's speaker. And of course, today's topic is going to be a roadmap to memory. It's actually a part 2, and few days before we had part 1. The theme it's going to be neurotransmitter perspective. As you all know, we have speaker our core team head, Dr. Suresh Kumar Murugesan, who is actually a head of this mental health webinar series and head of Department of Psychology at American College, Madurai, and also more than nearly 2 decade vast experience in this related subject, and also who is director of Red Bond Education and Psychological Research Center, Madurai, as well Yellow Bond Counseling Center, Madurai. We'll have a great session. For that, provided I request all the sincere, please mute your audio as well video. If in case switch on video, make sure to wear decent outfit. And also all your queries can be clarified in the QA session. Yes, I request Dr. Suresa to take over the session further. Thank you one and all, and welcome all the participants and our core team members. Also our today's speaker, our head, Dr. Suresh Kumar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, Veera, sir, for welcoming and introducing me to the audience over here. Very good evening, one and all. And today it is on part 2, as we, I think some of you may aware about that we had the same topic, a roadmap to memory, in which we were discussing about brain and different parts and how it is impacted on memory. And today it is on another perspective, I can say. Here we are looking at the neurotransmitter and how these neurotransmitters has an impact or influence or they play an important role in our memory, not only memory and learning. So I have gone through the few research work. Just I'm going to consolidate and I'm going to share with you. I would like to thank the 40 members and the participants over here because you all made me to prepare in depth. So when I collecting information, not only I'm giving to you, I'm learning new things. For that, you made me to learn more and more information. For that, I record my sincere thanks to that participant. I want to do better for learning. And with that note, I can begin my presentation. And so this is about me again the interview. Beyond that, neurotransmitter. First, what we'll begin with the basic terms is there in our topic. Okay. Neurotransmitters. The term you may be heard and somewhere you may hear what it means. For that, you have to know that what is neuron. And then we'll come to the neurotransmitter. Transmit means we are transferring information from one to another place. Neuron means a cell. Okay. A cell which is there in our brain and nervous system. So that we can call it a neuron. When neuron transmits information from one neuron to another neuron, the neuron transmits one neuron to another neuron, that we call it a neurotransmitter. What it will transmit? For example, if my friend is asking money, I'm giving the money to him. I'm transmitting money to my friend. The neuron, what it will transmit and what are the mode it will transmit. There are two ways it will transmit. One is in chemical format and another one is electrical signals. Neuron communicate or transmit with adjacent neuron two ways. One is by electrical signals and another one is chemical signals it will send that. So neurotransmitter mostly covered about chemical signals. Yes. So we have communication. I hope you understand that a basic term what is neuron and the neuron communication between one neuron to another neuron. For that, we can say that neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitter is a process. I can say that it is a substance is there in that one neuron that you can see in the picture. So these are things called neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. And, there are one more term. Here you can look at there are many small particles and it is like a pack-like structure. These we can call them vesicles. Vesicles. So basically means it's like a car or something we are having in our family. It will make all, it will give space to all the members in our family. We can get into that and then we'll move on that. Likewise, there is a vesicle is there. That vesicle contains numerous neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are small minor chemicals which is transferred to one neuron to another neuron. Okay, that is neurotransmitter. What is a neuromodulator? Neuromodulator is like here you can see there are structures here in this picture. You can see there is a circles and then sometimes you can see the different structure will be there. Modulator means something different like a neurotransmitter, which will allow only particular neurotransmitter to that particular way. So what these processes called synapses. Okay. Neurotransmitters are generally what kind of communication it will make from one neuron to another neuron. The area in which the communication happens between one neuron to another neuron, that is called synaptic cleft. Synaptic cleft, you can find it in two places. One is dendrites and another one is, what is that? Axon terminus. So these are the two areas which is connected to each other. There is an dendrite spine will be there. Dendrite spines are different in shape. It will change based on the requirement. So in detail, we may not go to that. So that place in which the chemicals, the neurotransmitter transfer from one neuron to another neuron is called synaptic cleft. So now we'll move on to the next. Classification of neurotransmitter. Okay, I will try to increase my volume. Okay. What are the way we can classify the neurotransmitter? Neurotransmitters can be classified into two groups. One is the classical way of classification. One is amino acid derivatives. Amino acids and neuropeptides. These are the first classification. We will see what is amino acid derivatives and what is neuropeptides. And here you can see. A number of researchers were done and they found that there are researchers were done. They found that not only the particular part of brain is responsible for our memory, these neurotransmitters also play a specific role in learning and memory. You cannot separate that learning and memory. When learning happens, that outcome will be memory. No learning, then you cannot pass the information to the memory. So learning and memory go hand in hand. When the researches were done on neurotransmitters, they found that there are specific neurotransmitters which plays an important role in our memory and learning. And here you can see some of the, as per the study conducted by Myrer, in 2003, he found that epinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, glutamate, acetylcholine, adrenaline, noradrenaline, histamine. So these were some of the neurotransmitters which is responsible for our memory. And we are going to see one by one and which neurotransmitter is called the memory neurotransmitter. And I would like to admit one statement here. Before preparing this class, I never knew that neurotransmitter has an important role in our memory. I thought it's a part of brain, or there is one of the important components. Most of us we know that hippocampus is the place that storage will happen. There is no role will be played with a neurotransmitter. That is the information I thought. But the neurotransmitter has an important role in our memory and into the context. And there are a number of discussions and debates where I have between the researchers and the people who are working on the brain and the neuropsychology and neurosciences about that. They want to find out that which neurotransmitter play an important role in memory. Okay, there are a number of neurotransmitters out there. Can you guess how many neurotransmitters may be there? Can anyone please tell me? This is a question. I think you may know that dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, acetylcholine, norepinephrine. So these are something you know that. Can you guess how many neurotransmitters may be there in a human being or mammals or animals? Can you guess? Can you give your answer in the chat box? Anyone? Yes. Can you guess how many neurotransmitters may be there in animals or human beings? As of now, there is no answer. So here I will give the answer. There are 40 neurotransmitters they were identified. I can assure you that this is not a final number. In coming days, more and research will be done, and they will come up with more neurotransmitters in coming days. Okay. Some of them are saying that voice is breaking. So it may be on your low bandwidth. Can you please yeah, yes, sir. For them, I am saying that. Can you please oversight? We can listen my voice, disconnect and then reconnect. There is a chance that we can listen to it. As I said, there are a number of researchers who debated and they discussed about that which neurotransmitter has an important role in our memory. There is a specific debate that happened. Okay, and these studies were recorded by Blackman in 1996. He only said that the person said that only acetylcholine is responsible, and another person said that no, there is another component of neurotransmitter only responsible for our memory. We will see on that. So researchers, when they were done a research, they are working to identify the mainly important work taken by the neuropsychologists or neuroscientists or people who are working in the brain and related studies. They try to identify that, especially for the particular neurotransmitter which is responsible for memory and learning. So that is the interest of them. And they classify that, okay, from the beginning we have to get amino acid and aminopeptides. So each one is responsible for our memory. So that is supposed to be in front of them. They discuss and they try to find out answer for this. Okay. And here you can see there is the picture it will guide you to understand about that why neurotransmitter plays an important role in our memory. You can see the poor memory and the good memory. Okay, we all know that the person who is having good memory, see that the neurotransmitter level. Here you can see that the person having the good memory, the neurotransmitter, you can see more neurotransmitter will happen, but it is unless between one synaptic synaptic execute another that synaptic cleft. It is a less number of neurotransmitter transfer from one neuron to another neuron. That means we will have the person will have the poor memory. At the same time, a person, for example, here many of you are listening my webinar session, and if you are able to memorize all the information, that means your neurotransmitter release is very high than the person who is not able to have the store better memory. They are having less neurotransmitter between one and another. And they conducted research. They found that these neurotransmitter level plays an important role in forming the new memory. Yes, and you see here. And the repeated activities of neurotransmitters. Okay. When if it is a more efficient, the connections are more efficient, more active, and that process will make that memory consolidate. So, for example, you listen all the information, but you need to consolidate the information based on that, okay, science, physics, chemistry, and general subjects. So, when you want to consolidate for that one also, you need a neurotransmitter. That better neurotransmitter must be transferred from one neuron to another. And there are several neurotransmitters. The researchers interested to find out that exactly which pathway of neurotransmitters play a vital role in our memory. I think we all know that there are billions and billions of neurons, and the researchers' interest is to find out that, okay, which neurotransmitter or which pathway that helps us help the person to have the better memory and learning. And where these particular neurotransmitter or in combined with another neurotransmitter which has an important role in memory or not. These were the interest of the many researchers, and they were studied, and they not only study those things, they study about the pathway it is taking up. If the pathway is in a particular way, whether the person has a good memory. So the pathway is whether the person having the same kind of memory level or learning level or different one. Yes, and you can see here the emotion as well. All agree with me that yesterday in the last session also we had an there are a lot of discussions we received from the participants. And remember that any incidences which is connected to your emotions, anything it may be your happy moment or anything, some dramatic incidences, still you will remember. So that is studying says that. It is believed that strong emotion trigger the formation of strong memory. When you have the strong emotion, that's why when you involve in a particular study, you involve the emotion you have connected to the particular subject. When you see that I love this subject, that's why I learned that. Why? Because they are emotionally connected. That when you want to have the better memory, you have to be emotionally connected. At the same time, if you have that weaker emotional experience with that any kind of learning, and the person will have the weaker memories. So this is not said by me, this is said by the arousal theory. In emotion and memory, there is some theories there. There are many Cannon-Bode, Schafer-Singer theory. There are many theories other, and one of the theories is an arousal theory. It's recorded that anything which is connected to that strong emotions, the person has a strong memory. Weaker emotions, the incident is connected to that, then the person will have the weaker memories. And here you can see that how that emotional memories are connected. There is some stimulus. There's a dog coming towards you, and there is a physiological arousal increase to your heart rate, and you say that you are scary or you are feared, you are anxious, and it will lead to your emotions. And these incidents, remember, when you had an experience with anything, the first time when you see something emotionally connected, or some dog come and bite somebody else, if you witness that, then you will have that incident for longer time. You remember the particular incident. And here you can see there is another input regarding that. Yes, emotional connection as an important component in our life. Okay, but these emotional triggers release the neurotransmitter. We have to understand that why we have to connect that emotion with the neurotransmitter and memory. So neurotransmitter will be released only when the person is having that experiencing any kind of emotion. It may be positive emotion or negative emotion. They are emotional experiences that release neurotransmitter. Okay, that release of neurotransmitter are hormones that strengthen our memory. That strengthen our memory, and that's why we are not able to forget that emotion, any kind of memory which is connected to our emotions. If you want to have better memory, just have that emotion bond with that particular content, particular subject. If you don't want to keep the information, stay away from the emotion with that particular subject. Have memory, have the better emotional connection. Here you can look at that how these processes will happen. Okay. So emotion stimulus, it will go to that, I think you all know that the relay station in our brain is called thalamus. Okay, there is an emotion stimulus. So there is an emotion stimulus that will go to the relay station in our brain, is called thalamus. That convey the message to the amygdala, and the emotion response will come. Okay. And if you are having that implicit emotional memory and explicit emotion situations are two different parts, amygdala as well as hippocampus. You cannot separate only one part is responsible. These things we were discussing in my first part of presentation. In my first part, I given that what are the different parts of brain is responsible for our memory. For example, when we and the animals were stressed, what will happen? Our brain will secrete the hormones. That hormones release a neurotransmitter that is called glutamate. Glutamate is otherwise called memory hormone. You can memory neurotransmitter. Glutamate which help us to remember the stressful event. That's why we are remembering that anything which is related to your stressful and fearful condition, you still remember. When you had a first fear, you will remember that. So these connections give on functional basis for what we can say the flash bulb memory. When that tsunami happened in India, 2004. Or anything which is very Chennai flood. Okay, these things these information you remember that it is there in our flashbulb memory. So these flashbulb memory is triggered because of the neurotransmitter released. The neurotransmitter is called glutamate. That's why they said that the glutamate is otherwise called memory neurotransmitter. And you don't conclude that only these neurotransmitter is the response for memory, and few more neurotransmitter also response for our memory. Generally, we have the notion that dopamine and serotonin are two neurotransmitter are responsible for happiness. Okay, but when you look at when I went to an in-depth study about that these two hormones also, they found that these two also play an important role in memory. And we all know that what is classical memory. Yes, classical memory is something. You may remember that the Twin Towers, when it was attacked, September 11, 2001, it is everyone will remember when the Trade Center were, the world center were attacked by the terrorists. We all remember that. Okay, and you remember that where you were there and then where you first you received that information. Still, you can remember that memory is called classical memory. It will not be vanished, but at the same time, the previous day and the other day, and when I asked you where you were there and what are the things you have done, you forget it. That information will be vanished. It will be not there. That's why you have to understand that the classical memory is more connected to the society, which is related to that emotional trigger where happened. Emotional trigger means the neurotransmitter were transferred from one neuron to another neuron more efficient. Yes. And in the beginning, as I asked you a question in the general knowledge question, how many neurotransmitters are there in human nervous system? Even I have to admit that if I'm a participant, if you ask a question, if I'm not referred any content, I will say that I don't know. When I go through that, I found that there are 40 neurotransmitters. And we cannot, don't confine with that only 40. In future, there are more neurotransmitters will be identified because based on the technology we are having, we identified the classified in 40 neurotransmitters. Okay. And here we are going to classify that. Okay, in the beginning I said we are going to classify the neurotransmitter excitatory. That means that stimulates. Inhibitory means that block that a particular function. And neuromodulators, I think we have under neuromodulators, they are under different states and that will be communicated only particular pathway only. Neurohormones are different. So these are the different classifications of neurotransmitters for basic understanding only. Excitatory only, that will stimulate. What are they? One is glutamate, acetylcholine, and we have to understand that acetylcholine is the first neurotransmitter found by the researchers. And histamine, dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine, these were the things are called excitatory neurotransmitter, and inhibitory neurotransmitter are called kappa. And kappa also play an important role in memory. I think we thought that when there is a communication between one neuron and another neuron block inhibited, will it help the person to have the better memory? Yes, the studies were proven. And serotonin and dopamine. So these were the inhibitory neurotransmitters. And neuromodulators are dopamine, serotonin, acetylcholine, histamine, norepinephrine. These were the code and they used for describing the particular neurotransmitters. And hormones are releasing hormones from hypothalamus, and like oxytocin, is many of you may be aware of it. Here you can see. Excitatory means that stimulate. So excitatory neurotransmitters functions to activate the receptor. The main function is to activate. Here you can see the distinction between inhibitory and then excitatory. See, the glutamate will be released and then see the positive activations will be done. Activate with that goes up. But inhibitory it will not activate, it will hyperpolarize, it will not deactivate the particular thing. The negative ion you can see, the positive ion, the negative ion. So here is how kappa, inhibitory is kappa. The excitatory stimulant is called glutamate. Now you know that the basic difference, there are two types of neurotransmitter. One neurotransmitter will activate and another neurotransmitter will inhibit. It will not deactivate. So generally we can understand that. And these neurotransmitters will be, we can say that action potentials. When the positive and negative, it will change. The balance will be there, will be maintained. That process we can get, and synaptic action potential will be there. The synaptic communication will happen because of action potentials. Okay. And here you can see what are the things come from the amino acids. The beginning acids, amino acid, glutamate, kappa, glycine, and you see the monoamines are catecholamines and indolamines. Catecholamines is a dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, and indolamines are the serotonin and acetylcholine. So these are the neuropeptides or endorphins, pituitary peptides, and peptides, hypothalamic peptides, and other miscellaneous peptides. These are the neurotransmitters, amino acids, monoamines, catecholamine. These are the things that are related to the memory. We'll see one by one. That is glutamate. I'm going to concentrate on three important neurotransmitters. There are many other transmitters. Glutamate is an important thing. What is glutamate? It is an excitatory function activated neurons. What is that? It releases from the sensory neurons. I think we have to understand that there are three types of neurons we are having in our brain. One is called sensory neuron, motor neuron, and interneuron. Okay. Sensory neuron is in our wherever the sensory organs are there you can find a sensory neuron. The nerve is connected to a particular area called sensory neurons. And motor neuron, the muscle functions and other activities. Interneurons is a communication between motor neuron and the sensory neuron. Okay, it is released from the sensory neuron to the cerebral cortex. The major part of our brain is in cerebral cortex. In our first presentation, I presented a lot about the cerebral cortex. What are the functions of glutamate? It regulates central nervous system and the learning process and memory. See here. That's why glutamate is otherwise called memory neurotransmitter. Generally, you can name it memory neurotransmitter. And where they found that? Okay. I think many of you may be aware about that migration. Okay. Migration is one of the important processes. The birds will remember the pathway from one continent to another continent. They travel more than 4,000 to 10,000 kilometers without taking. There is no stop. At a stage they will come. And how did they travel and other components? So because of these neurotransmitter that process only. And here you can see this glutamate is one of the things which is found. The researchers were found that in the eyes of the birds. Okay. The functional property they found that the glutamate were found in that prolene. So the prolene is there. Avian birds retina they found. The avian birds retina they found that these proline were found. This plays an important role in glutamate, which has an important role in our memory. And you can see the birds having the better memory. There were studies were concluded that crow has an capacity, an IQ score of 7-year-old children. The crow has an IQ score which is equal to the 7 years old. To see about the memory ability of that crow, the bird which is having. So the study conducted by Setkin, the person, and along with the co-authors, he found that administration of proline, for example, it is on the proline level is low. That has an impact on the learning and memory in birds. If it is on high, if it is an adequate level, they may found that if it is an adequate level, that birds having the better learning and memory. If it is not that adequate level, and they found that then there is a problem in that memory and learning. And here you can see that glutamate, and the researchers were also found that glutamate, what it will do that? Antagonism. Antagonism means reducing the release of glutamate. There are two functions are there. Okay. And the glutamate, it is an excitatory means stimulate. Okay, activation. When reducing these secretion of glutamate from one or other, neurotransmitter very low. When they communicate between one neuron to another neuron, then they found that there is an issue. The glutamate must be involved in some process which is related to the memory and learning. In that way only the researchers come to know that if the glutamate is on the level of stimulation or secretion of glutamate is decreased, whether it has an impact on memory and learning, they found that yes, it has a huge impact on memory and learning. That way only they come to know that. See here, that's in the beginning itself I said, the memory neurotransmitter. It is a chemical formula, you have to know about it. When you take up a research on these things, you can further, and there were many studies found that antagonisms, they demonstrated that reduce the amount of glutamate in synaptic, that reduces the ability of an individual, it may be an animal or bird. It has a lower level of learning and memory. Forming memories are reduced. So when you want to have the better memory, what you can do that? increase the secretion of glutamate. Whether you can take only medicine, no. There are natural food items also available. You can take how to stimulate glutamate, and then you can increase your learning and memory power. And those are having memory problem, you can use this biomedical model. And see here, there were studies were conducted. They summarize the different studies. You can see the meta-analysis. There are a number of studies were conducted, and they will go through all the studies, and then they will come to one particular thing. From there, they will take them. Okay, from there, they found that they processed all the findings. What they found? Glutamate has an important role for long-term learning and memory. You can take about that when the person having that the process is not that, the stimulation is not that, the pathway having the problem in the brain, and they found that it has an impact on that learning and memory. That's why aging has an important role. Aging, when the person is aging, these secretion of glutamate is reduced. That's why the memory forgetting problem you can find out among the elderly population. And then, yes. The studies were conducted in the beginning by the researchers about the birds and then animals. They come to the human being after they conducted. If there is a disruption in the learning and memory, it is because of that they are not adequate secretion of adequate stimulation or activation of not happening on individual's brain. That is glutamate. And here you can see there is a few studies I am going to quote. The studies conducted by Square in 1986. So how many years back? They found that the reduced number of glutamate receptors, as I said, the receptors are very less. This is, we can say that receptors. If there is no receptors, then only it will receive the information. The receptors are very low, which collect that glutamate, and they found that amnesia is an person who forget easily. The hippocampus area, which is very important for long-term memory, these receptors are very low. It is they are not having the long-term memory because they are not having adequate receptor to receive the glutamate, and it is transferred from one neuron to another neuron. So we may have a question. Suppose one neuron transmits that neurotransmitter glutamate. Okay, if not having the receptor, what will happen? Re-uptake will happen. Okay, if I'm giving the money, if you are not receiving, I will keep back with me. It is there only. If it is go there only, the memory and long-term memory learning will happen. If it is not there, and it is not happening. So that is an important problem here. And glutamate plays an important role for our learning and memory. Here you can see. There were studies conducted by in 1987. They documented when the glutamatic communication, the stimulation or transmission are reduced. They found that endorenal cortex in hippocampus plays an important for Alzheimer's patients. Where they found that it is very poor. Glutamate is not transferred from one neuron to another. That's why people are having the problem. And the next hormone is about the first hormone is on glutamate, is otherwise called memory neurotransmitter. Memory neurotransmitter that if there is no adequate receptor, the person not having the better memory. If there is no higher level of activations are there in birds and animals, they found it better learning and memory. So we have to understand an important neurotransmitter for memory and learning. And first one is about exhibitory, that means activation of that neurons. And second, we are going to look into that one activation, and another one is deactivation. Inhibitory. GABA. GABA is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. Gamma amino butyric acid. So it is an GABA in short, they will say that the most powerful inhibitory neurotransmitter. So which is produced by the neurons. And the final cut is the final cut. That's why when there is a problem, they will take final fluid and they study about whether there is a problem in GABA. Okay. It is there in final cut, cerebellum. Cerebellum is in small brain, and then basal ganglia. These GABA predominantly play an important role. Okay. And in addition to that, you can find out these cerebral cortex, some of the areas in cerebral cortex also, GABA will be found. And here, it is derived from that, see, the beginning, I given inputs regarding that glutamate is a very, very important neurotransmitter for our memory, and kappa is an inhibitory. This inhibitory hormone is also derived from glutamate. So it's not derived from the glutamate. It plays an important role in memory and learning. So that's why they are saying that glutamate is an important neurotransmitter for memory. Okay. And here you can see it is an inhibitory where it is released from the neurons in the spinal cord, cerebellum, basal ganglia, and some of the areas in our cerebral cortex. What is the main functions of this GABA? The neural exhibitory. Okay, when that activation between one neuron to another will be reduced, in the nervous system. Second one is the memory process. And then we will see that the studies conducted with the different researchers, and we will come to know that how that studies help us to understand that GABA also play an important role in memory. So, benzodiazepines. I don't know whether I have pronounced properly. Benzodiazepine is the discovery of these things will help us to understand the GABA. They found that it has an important role on our memory and learning process. You can see that. So what they found that there is a receptors in our here you can see that this is called neurotransmitter. This is called vesicle. When it is released from one neuron to another neuron, it transmittable. Here is the receptors. As I said, when that adequate receptors are not there, and the proper learning and memory will not happen. And these receptors will collect the neurotransmitter and it will take into the another neuron. It will happen very quickly. And this GABA also plays an important role when what are the information we needed to take. Okay. And they found that if the GABA is not properly released, and there is a traumatic learning impairment also. They found that the learning impairment. Don't think into that only other components. Here, these neurotransmitter has important role. The person is having the learning disability. Neurotransmitter also plays an important. GABA is another important hormone. And we all know that there is almost very recently, in 2012 study, they found that neurotransmitter GABA that predicts our tactual learnings. When you touch something and you say that it is a live plant, and you say that it is an artificial one. So these tactual learning ability controlled or predicted by GABA. GABA has a capacity to predict that your tactual learning. The researcher from that medicine school, what they have found, they discovered from that the studies conducted among the mice. Okay, the mice were infected through viral infection, and they found that it inhibits the brain activity. And they found that these inhibition helps the mice to learn better, and it doesn't in memory. And they come to the road. We found that when the stimulate only it will have an impact on memory, but even though there is a block, it has an also impact on memory. There is an accident learning. It's an accident learning. They discovered, and they were discovered about these things. The viral infection is not, and that infection inhibits that secretion of that adequate neurotransmitter, the transfer from one neuron to another neuron. That also plays a vital role in better learning and memory. And here you can see there are two types of components. One is antagonist and agonist. So we will see here. Mr. Paul in 1987 he said that he administered local administration of GABA. There are two methods: the agonist and the antagonist. Agonist, what it will happen? It will inhibit the component. Agonism demonstrate they would selectively produce learning, and these process. Okay, the producing component is called agonist. Inhibiting component is called antagonist. It will inhibit, it will activate, it will produce. And these things play an important role in our learning and memory. When these things were activated, these impairment are connected to that. If the person having that severe or anything which is related to that biological learning disability, here you have to check. Here you have to check when these things are you can activate these things. Here, the picture will help you to understand that agonist and antagonist. What will happen? It will allow that fully activation of that process. Here, it is not activating; it will block that. It will not allow to communicate. Less activations, and there is no activation at all. These three activation, less activation, and no activation. That's why the doctors, when they give the medicines, they want what they will do. Some of the medicine that will activate that neurotransmitter. Some of the activity, partially it will activate. And another neuron, it will not activate at all. There is no activation at all. Okay. So these agonists, if the person and the learning and the memory impairments are there, that means agonists. There's full activation. And antagonist learning and memory enhancement, you can see that here. That there is a block. There is no activation of the neuron from one neuron to another neuron. They found that there is a better learning and memory enhancement also. So both activation also helps us to have the better memory and learning, and deactivation also plays an important role in better memory and learning. And the researchers were found that the inhibition nature of this GABA, the main property of GABA neurotransmitter is to inhibit that communication between one neuron to another neuron. These reduce, help that have the better consolidation of memory process. Consolidation of memory and learning will happen. That plays GABA plays an important role in the consolidation process of memory and learning. And third important neurotransmitter is an acetylcholine. This was the first neurotransmitter found by the scientists. So here there are a number of studies are there, and I found that the Dr. Lab, they given a lot of inputs regarding acetylcholine. So I'm going to take another 4 to 5 slides from you. The neurotransmitter is there in our temporal lobe, parietal, so frontal, parietal, occipital, and then temporal lobe. Temporal lobe is there in the limbic system, where you can find it. It plays a critical role for memory and cognitive function. You can see here. Acetylcholine has an important function for our memory and cognitive function for your thinking, your decision making, your problem solving, your logic also connected with the acetylcholine. Okay. And it's also important for your bowel. You feel that's uncomfortable or feel good things, and digestive system, everything is controlled. This neurotransmitter. So the structure may differ. They given the triangle, circle. You see that these are the neurotransmitters. In the circle and then square will be different neurotransmitters. And here these two will not be accepted here. These only triangle will be accepted. The receptors accept only particular neurotransmitter. When one release, another neuron accepts, only the receptor is available. It's not there. That the process you can say that reuptake. It will take him back to the where it is received. And here, what is acetylcholine? It is an executive stimulating neurotransmitter, except the horn. Okay, so it is released from the different motor neuron, basal ganglia, areas in our human body, sympathetic and parasympathetic. There it will be activated. What are the main functions? You can see that it will regulate our circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm. When you have the proper sleep, that the memory consolidation and it will segregate that information related to that, and that way, very next day when you have the better sleep, you remember very good information. When you are not having the adequate sleep, you will have the problem. And muscle functioning also controlled by acetylcholine in addition to that memory. Memory we are going to talk about here. And so the major symptoms, we see that suppose you are having that deficiency of acetylcholine in your body. What are the common symptoms you can see here? You will forget most of the things. The facts and information about your day-to-day activity you will forget. And you will trouble in understanding the written and spoken communication. When the teacher will teach and you will not get anything at all, that means there is a deficiency in that acetylcholine in your neuron. And forgetting, I think, where I kept my pen and where I kept my key, these things will be there. And difficult to remember the things on list. Someone saying that I given only 3 things, you remember only 2 only you got it. And these orientations, and they will not have that environment, passion will not be there. They will not have that, so that important. That's why we say acetylcholine plays an important role. Cognitive functions also. Creativity and imaginations are cognitive functions. They will have a problem in that component also. And they will be very slow and confused in the thinking process. And very frequently they will make mistakes in the work what they are doing. Constipation, control the bowel control, and then try out. So there were studies conducted by biomedical, pharmacomedical. So they found that the way of compound, it inhibits acetylcholine. There is an inhibit, or it will accept these 2 things. it has an impact on a human learning. And it is taken from that person who is having the cognitive impairment, and they found that okay, cognitive impairment, why they are not having that properly processed, whether it has a connection with the learning and learning. In that way, they study. There are many studies that reported, and we'll move on to that. There is a study conducted by Chuck here in 1989. He found that memory impairment in an individuals like Parkinson's disease are highly correlated with the acetylcholine function in the frontal cortex. The study already they found that yes, it has an impact on the person. And Wilson in 1990, he proved that with an evidence, acetylcholine function, that rhythmic electric brain activities, beta and gamma, we all know the alpha, beta, delta, gamma, these were the brain waves are there. And these, when you have a particular wave, and you will have the better learning. That is very important for firing the neurotransmitter from one neuron to another. That's very, very important for potential for learning and memory. And here, so what are the strategies? As you said, for things, this one thing I found that there are strategies you can adapt for improving your acetylcholine in your body. What you can do? Adapt stress. Stress is an important thing that will block that enough acetylcholine. Balance your blood sugar level and caffeine use. Strategically not addicted to that. Better sleeping, that consultation will happen. And I think you have to take cleansing your body. When you take adequate water, practice aerobic exercises. Aerobic exercises, breathing, aerobic and the breathing will help us. If you have that adequate oxygen and adequate energy, you feel more comfortable. And nutritious and choline-rich foods will help you to improve that level of acetylcholine in your body. And the food items you can take here. Some of the food items, these were rosemary we are not using, but you can use coriander. I found that equivalent to that, but the picture I found this recently. And non-veg is not for the non-veg. Acetylcholine, you must go for non-veg. It is a vegetarian only. Very few items are coriander and then pudina, and here broccoli and cauliflower. And so these were the hormone neurotransmitter I given that has an impact on our memory and learning. And catecholamines and serotonin. Catecholamine and serotonin, the studies conducted by different researchers, which is not having as much as the impact of the other neurotransmitters we were discussed. Yes, these things also have an important role for memory and learning. But for example, not the other kind of memory. Spatial learning, these catecholamine plays an important role. Spatial, the distance between one another. You will predict that. How you come to know that? Because of these neurotransmitters. Okay. And when as I said, one part of brain is damaged and the other part will take over the role by the particular place. Like here, when the acetylcholine is not working and these catecholamine and serotonin will take over the role of that, and it will help the person to have a better memory. The studies were conducted by the different researchers to that. And there is one study conducted by Catfield and Metcalf in 1999. They demonstrated what will make experiment. So, norepinephrine, is another thing. These atreline secretion consolidate the process of making memory. When how we gone through that, it will trace us. Okay, this is the first thing you gone through. When you first time when you reach it, you know how to come back. Then you remember that this is the way we come here, and then this consolidation will happen. When these things were conducted with the animals, it helps us to recall. Okay. The studies were conducted in animals, and later we found with the human beings abstractly our better memory and learning. The last slides, I will go into that. The other chemical models are very less impact on our memory, like norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is stimulating or activating thing, and epinephrine, again, these are also activating neurotransmitter, which has a very less impact on our memory and learning. Dopamine. Important when you want to commit to involve in the learning process, you need dopamine. And serotonin, happiness. When you happy, you feel a better perception about the coming what you are learning. And histamine, which is not having closely related to the memory, but it also has some extent that, for example, behavioral memory will be controlled or initiated by histamine. These are my references, and thank you so much for listening. I hope the inputs what I given is useful for you. I admit that even I'm not aware about that neurotransmitters are very, very important role plays in our memory and learning. Yes, especially for glutamate, GABA, and you can go to that acetylcholine. These are the three hormones we remember, which has a huge impact on our memory. And one of the important neurotransmitters is the glutamate. Earlier they called them proline. So these things we can activate. There are natural and other facilities are available. You take adequate these things and you will have the better learning and memory. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you all for listening to me. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will try to give answer for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that. Thank you so much, sir, for that vast explanation on neurotransmitters. Definitely, everyone in the field of psychology should be knowing about the physiological aspects of memory. And I really enjoyed it. Like it's brushing up my physiology. So thank you, because that's going to reinforce my memory on these neurotransmitters. And like you said, definitely these neurotransmitters are used as a part of treatment when you're for the patients to lessen their pain. uh, so thank you so much. And participants who have any questions, kindly unmute yourself, or you could put in the chat box so that I can facilitate.
So when I was, I'll add one more point. So when I was preparing the different brain parts and its relation to the memory, I found that neurotransmitter has an impact on memory. When I was collecting information for neurotransmitter related to memory, I found one more component also. Like a chain, like I think you cannot. Earlier, I thought that memory is meaning the person is not attentive. No. There are a lot of biological basis are there. Now I understand that when you know the particular problem, the root cause of the problem, we can able to solve it. Here is the root cause. That's why I request all the participants to understand the problem in biomedical model, biological perspective, then you'll get an easiest way to solve it.
Definitely. And also, if we are aware of the gate theory of pain,
Mm-hmm.
then that will be easier for us to understand more on these aspects. And
Yes.
Shubha ma'am has like excitatory and inhibitory type. Ma'am, is it about
No, when I was explaining, see, given inputs, I will say that the comment, when I was presenting that particular excitatory and inhibitory news, it's given inputs regarding. Yes. I think in the biopsychology, neuropsychology, you will not have an adequate question. Yes.
Sir, just I want to ask one question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Not question.
Yes, sir.
Can you give some point about like coma patient with relation to memory, sir?
Sir, I'm not having, I'm not authority to give the answer, but one of my friends who were in coma, and my son, elder son, he was in coma for 3 days. Based on these experiences, I will tell you. When they were given the medicines by the doctors, actually, we cannot blame them also. He had a severe problem in learning. Earlier, we have some capacity to remember different concepts what we learn. I'm giving one of the examples in the talk. But now, after that incident, when he took medicines for epilepsy, and that hinders, okay, that they are giving the kappa only they are giving, these hinders his learning and learning. I witnessed personally. So in coma, I think not having much information about that. I think doctors like you, Dr. Vijay and Dr. Veena may give an input regarding that. Please help me, Dr. Vijay.
Salim sir, can you get back with your question, sir?
No,
No, ma'am, it's not a question. Just I want just a link between memory and a normal person. We know the memory of normal person, like coma patients. What about the memory, ma'am? It's completely erased, or there some years after some years they are again coming back, no, to the normal life. Just I want to know the
So,
some
yes,
point. That's it.
again, it will be like if they are stuck up with that any traumatic incident, they will have the memory sometimes might be struck and it will not go beyond that. So sometimes coma
Okay.
patients might regain their memory, or you have to really work on that. So it's again something ambiguity.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
Suresh sir, can I ask one question, sir?
sir, yes, sir. Sivakumar, sir, please.
Sir, actually, this memory is related with our conscious and subconscious mind.
Yes.
And what are the optimum factors where we can keep our memory intact? And what are the things where our memory will get depleted?
Sir, in my previous presentation, I hope you were there in my presentation. I given that when we were discussing about the different types of memory,
Yes,
conscious memory and unconscious memory.
Yes,
For example, procedural memory. When in the way of we are talking, the way in which we are walking,
Yeah.
and when we are writing, these things were unconsciously controlled. Mostly by there are two places in our brain, cerebellum and basal ganglia. Basal ganglia, these are two parts are responsible for unconscious memory. But for conscious memory, it mostly happen in the cerebral cortex, mostly. So that is about the brain part. And as I said, now the third component I come to know that here we discussed about that within the brain and the brain parts and the neurotransmitter. The third, when I was referring these neurotransmitters, as you said, the logical way of when Sigmund Freud was his theory, id, ego, super ego, we never we cannot say that which part of brain is for consciousness. But now we are having that capacity, the technology which will help us know that okay, the person is unconsciously doing something, the particular part of brain is an active. So now we can identify that these are the parts responsible for conscious memory. And when the person were in a dream and they found that okay, when the person is dreaming unconsciously or subconsciously, the particular part will be active. Now we are having the capacity. Then now there are few areas. And when I was discussing with one of the philosophers, I think this is very renowned person in psychology, also, he has done her theory. We all know the cloud memory. Okay, for example, in a computer we may have some of the is stored in cloud. Wherever we want, we can access it.
Yes,
Here, there are philosophical argument is that only memory is there in our human body only. Nothing that controlled beyond in our body has impact on our memory. So that is the question. They said that yes, the external component also impact on our memory. For example, when you have the particular smell, you will remember that last week memory. Am I right, sir? So the external thing that your memory will be there connected to that particular sensation also. So there, few studies are made an attempt to exploring this. I found some of the articles. Maybe we will come up with 3 more series on memory, roadmap to memory in coming days. There are 2 topics still is there. One is on the strategies or techniques we can use for improving our memory. I think probably we will have the session shortly.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. I have a question. Yeah, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, please.
Hello, sir. Yeah, sir. Now we have seen that some biology behind memory improvement enhancement. So, can we use the same biology to erase the unwanted memories, sir? Is there any new development? Is there happened or research is going on? Can we use the specific neurotransmitter to erase the unwanted, particular, especially PTSD and all? Is it there, sir?
Yes, there is. I think you are after the right question. Studies conducted among PTSD and anxiety patients, they found accidentally they found it. Okay, so why the traumatic just the person is experiencing? There's some fear is there in a person. They found that the particular neurotransmitter will not allow the person to activate that particular thing. Yes, there are few already studies were conducted. They found, and that's why they are taking medication for that. Papa is an best example for that.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
they can take that plays an important. But I can say that even the practicing, I think they will accept me that the practicing physicians and medical professionals, there are research that are still going on. How actually they have to take, and there are different companies and different the pharmacological components are differ from one to another. But that's what are going on.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. I think
So-
we are done. Yes.
We usually, I mean, there are certain food, food items that enhance your memory, and we say like taking a bunch of almonds or vallarakkire or
Vallar
and
is just one here. Onion, the lady's finger. Generally, they will say that. They found that these whatever the things is, this will stimulate or it will help to have the healthy brain areas, or it will activate or inhibit the neurotransmitter.
Oh, good. So onion, lady finger, and one more, sir.
Onion, sir, lady's finger, vallari.
Oh, what is that polarity?
Brahmi.
Brahmi.
Oh, Brahmi. Yeah, got it, madam. Got it.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So that is with the question and answers, and we are eagerly waiting for the next part of your memory journey, sir. And yes, ghee is also like Jayan sir says, it plays a crucial part with it has an impact on our cerebrospinal fluid. Definitely, there are studies that show that it really improves with the activity of your CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. That's the reason ghee is yes, yes, sir. Thank you so much. And now I call upon Salim sir to please place vote of thanks for Suresh.
Thank you, Veena ma'am, to give the opportunity today to give the vote of thanks. It was a wonderful session, and there's a two, like part 1 and part 2. It was a very good topics, and still Suresh sir want to take the improvement of memory in part 3. So it is like a marathon in between small rally, I can say, particularly about the memory. So it was a good, colorful roadmap, sir, about the memory. So last session, you talked about the overall view, and you explained very about the memories. It is not stored in the one place. It is different parts. The memories are stored, and one part and other parts are interconnected. It's very well explained in the last part, I think. And today, neurotransmitters very well explained, sir, like glutamate, GABA, and acetylcholine. So all of the 3 neurotransmitters are responsible for learning and memory. So it was very well explained by you. So we can know the importance of the neurotransmitters in coming to the aspect of learning and memory. So we understand that neurotransmitters are playing the vital role in terms of memory. So it was a very good, wonderful session, sir. As Veena ma'am said, it's like a physiological aspect of memory, part 2, I can say. So still we are waiting for the part 3 for improving our memory techniques, sir. It will be very useful. And the Q&A session was very wonderful, sir. A lot of clarification, and a lot of people got clarified with the different aspects of dimension of memory. So thank you so much, Suresh, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you on behalf of the American College, Madurai, and the Madras School of Social Work, and the MS Chalam Institute of Rehabilitation Center, and Red Pond Educational Psychological Center, and Psycho-Oncological Association Turkey, and International Clinical Psychology Center Germany. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, thank you for, we are still eagerly waiting for your third part.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That your words are motivating me. I will come up with a better strategy for our improving memory, sir, in coming days.
Because you explained the process, we are waiting for the betterment.
Yes.
So empowerment in third part.
True, sir. I will come.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. And participants, tomorrow's session will be at 7 o'clock because we are showing our support for a program that is being
Yes.
conducted by the clinical psychologist. So the program will be at 7 o'clock. Kindly note it in your calendars. And for any queries and feedback, kindly send to my webinar feedback@gmail.com. We will meet tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you all.